Hi, everybody in the Glasgow Girls group. Now, here I am, I'm carrying out Facebook Live. It's actually quite weird because I seem to be on one of these new systems that Facebook have introduced where I can't see anybody. It's just a whole sort of full new setup. But that's okay because that's what this is all about now, isn't it? Where we are all online. And I'm lucky because I love to talk. Talking, is one of those free abilities that we can use anytime. And it's been known that, if you talk to someone, it doesn't matter who it is, even if you talk to your pet, then it's a catharsis. It helps to release anything that you are thinking about. So, hi, my name's Lindsay, and I am the founder and organizer of a women's networking group called Now Network of Women. Now, thank you so much for being invited to come onto this Facebook Live today into this fabulous group to be able to give you a little bit of insight into networking and actually going live networking like I am doing here now. So what actually is networking? Well, networking for some people is that dreaded word of having to go into a room, for example, when we're doing it face to face, go into a room of all these strangers, and it's terrifying. It really is terrifying. But if you actually think of networking as going out having coffee with friends, or maybe meeting at school gates when you're picking up or dropping off your children. That's all networking because you're actually talking to others and getting to know them, getting to know about their lives, and if they have a business, getting to know about their business. That's networking. And we do it every day. And it's a way of being able to interact as human beings. Now, when we actually think about networking, straight away when it comes to our business, we think, oh no, we can't do that because it's tacky, it's selling, it's something that really isn't, no, we don't do that. We do our business, but we don't sell. But this is what we're all about. We're here our businesses are to help us and our friends, our family, and a lifestyle that we want to create. So why not network? And one of the biggest rule, I don't think is a word, but one of the biggest ways of when you do go networking, you don't ask somebody straight away, what do you do? Because when we meet a friend, we're not going to say to them, okay, what do you do? You don't do that. What you do is you find out what their likes are and what their hobbies are. And that's friendship. And I've met so many lovely, lovely ladies in the times that I've gone out face-to-face networking. And when I go networking, I just think about if I can, talk to one person or two people and they become friends. I never mention about my business or anything. Yeah, I might say, network of women, and but it's not really something that I go out to do. I go out to make friends. And they might want to be a part of the group. They might want to be a part of my business. But if they don't, that's all right. They might know somebody who does. And that's called referrals. So why network? Well, as I mentioned, it is just talking to others. And by talking, it releases those feel-good factor chemicals within our body. We are social creatures. And to sit in our houses, which we are having to do at the moment on our own, it can be very, very debilitating. It can be depressing. It can be sad. And that's because we need to interact with others. And we don't need to be talking about a business. We don't need to be talking about anything particular. Even just sitting, listening to a webinar or being here with me today. Marion, hi, thank you. was just saying, Marion, that I'm not sure, because I've got this whole strange layout in front of me that Facebook had created. So I can't actually see. I can see myself in a little corner, and I can see there's lots of people here, which is fabby. So thank you, Marion, for letting me know that I can actually see any comments. Fabby, great. So back onto networking. Well, Marion is someone that I met. Actually, Marion and I, we met when I was doing holistic therapies. But we've kept in touch over the years. And Marion is in the now group network of women, but also very much a part of my life, as are, and I will honestly say, hundreds of other women. I really will. And I could honestly say that they are friends. And that's happened because of me not only having the Now group, but because I've met these other ladies in different scenarios, whether that's going out networking or whether that is just going to different events. And that's what networking is. It helps us to develop long-lasting relationships. It is a part that helps us to be noticeable. And if we have a business, the factor, the know, like, and trust it's real. It's like if you go into a shop, and if you go into a shop where you don't know anybody in there, and the teller isn't very nice or the staff aren't very nice, you're going to think twice, first of all, about buying something in there, and certainly about going back in again. But if you go into, let's say, the corner shop, for example, and it's a really lovely corner shop. My village here, it's a super little shop, and Pauline, who is the owner in there, we stand, we talk, and I go back and I buy. That's know, like, and trust. And you can get that even just being online, even just being seen like I am. What else would be useful for networking? Well, you can become a better listener. When you're actually at a networking event, you are listening to the guest speaker to begin with, and then you're intermingling with lots of other members who are there, and you're listening. So which means you're stopping and you're working again those parts of your body, your mind, that are useful in your everyday life. And going networking, you can expand your professional network. Say, for example, I went to a networking event. Now, we're talking about face-to-face, but I'm going to segue into online networking because that is so very much a part of our lives now. But expanding your professional network means that you are talking to someone who may know someone else, who may know someone else, and it goes on like the butterfly effect. And in that way, maybe 6 or 7 persons down the line thinks, oh yeah, I've heard about that product or that service. That's really useful. I could do with that. Or I know somebody who could have some help with that. That's how it happens. And it also changes your perspective when you go networking, because when you're meeting other people, you are a part of those tribe, that group, that closeness, and it changes your thoughts on something. Well, I can't give it an exact topic because there are so many different topics out there. And of course, making friends. So like I mentioned, we are all carrying out online networking or watching webinars or watching Facebook Lives like you guys are here today. So thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate this. And this is very much a part of what I do. Now, the group that I founded and organized is called Now, Network of Women. It's a Facebook-based group, and it's free to join. And it's also free to come along to the networking online meetings, which are going to be created in the group from next week. Now, these are a wonderful way to be able to mosey into, if I can use that word, carrying out a social media live like this, a Facebook Live, Instagram, LinkedIn. I think Twitter does. I'm not really a Twitter person. I'm not sure if Twitter does lives. Some of you can maybe help me on that one. But it's a fabulous way of getting to know that person, you know, getting to know, like, and trust, because our personalities come over. It's as simple as that. And with online networking, the way that I'm going to be carrying this out next week in the group, it is using a platform that isn't like anything we've used before. Most of us know about Zoom and the other platforms out there for social interaction. But this platform that I'm going to be using, you can actually hop from table to table interactively and talk to those people at the table. You can even join up your LinkedIn. So you just go and you click on a LinkedIn URL and you can literally join up together there. But what is so good about it for helping you to be confident carrying out a, let's say, Facebook Live, like I'm doing here, is that when you're at the table and you are at the table with another 3 people, then your image will come up at the top. So there's going to be 4 of you sitting at that table and you're talking to each other, just like as if you're going into a room full of people and you go and sit at a table where there's another 3 people there and you sit down with them. It's just like that. But to be able to see yourself up there on screen and you can actually look at yourself talking helps to give confidence of being able to see yourself on the screen in a mirror fashion. And also by carrying out a networking in that way, you are beginning to, on a cellular level, beginning to become confident in yourself. It doesn't happen overnight. Of course, it's not going to happen overnight because it's taken a lifetime for how we get to where we are right now. And it's wonderful where we are now. I think it's fabulous. For me to carry out this Facebook Live, I did, maybe 2, 3, maybe Facebook Live challenges to get to where I am, and also a video challenge. And video, if anybody's going to do any of this, don't do a video. And then, because if you do a video, you always go back and check yourself and you cringe and you delete it. With a Facebook Live, that's it. You're out there. And yeah, I've got a whole ream of stuff I've got to say here. I'm probably not have said half of it. But the thing is that it is great fun. And once you start carrying out a social media live, it really is fun. And what is so good about a social media live or a Facebook Live then is that if you have a service or a product, for example, then you can showcase that service or product. And if you don't want your face to be shown, you can actually just, do it with your hands. And also, if anyone knows myself from the Now group, you know that I am almost at an end of carrying out 100 Facebook Lives every single day with a Now member. And how I came up with that, the actual way I came up with that, I'm not really sure. I'm very impulsive. I'll just put something into the group and then think about it later. But it's been fabulous because I've been able to get to know the members so much more intimately. I know what they do, I know their lives, and I like to think that those in the Now group who have actually watched some of the broadcasts have a little bit more knowledge about who their fellow sisters are in the Now group. That's networking. It can be fun. It can be such fun. If you don't have a business or a service, or even if you don't want to do anything with that, then what I am going to set up as well is a Now event using this platform where we just go in, we just talk, we just chat. It doesn't matter what you're talking about, that's networking. And one of my possible thoughts is that I don't know if anybody's heard of Ruby Wax's Frazzled Cafe, but that is, there are actual constructions, locations for the Frazzled Cafe, but obviously now they're closed. So Ruby is carrying these out online, and I was at one yesterday. And I thought it's a wonderful idea for us all to get together and we can talk to each other about any issues, any problems, anything that is going on in our lives. That's networking, getting out and talking to others about how we are, how we're feeling, getting it out into the open. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, it's a catharsis to be able to voice your thoughts, no matter what those thoughts are. And it actually releases an energy that will help, that does help. This is, there's lots of counsellors out there who work with talk therapy. If anybody's got any questions on anything that I'm saying, it would be wonderful to hear them. And also, if you would like to know more about networking, I actually carry out Facebook Live challenges. They're only 5 days, and they are really good fun. There are a little task given each day, and it's in a closed group. And usually out of, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 ladies who come on these challenges, 3 or 4 do continue and go on and create their own lives in their groups. So how can you become confident about going on to a Facebook Live or a social media live? I think the first thing to think is that, okay, you're looking at this camera and there's no one there. Well, just be an actress and you can imagine that there are people there. Or maybe you could imagine that you're just talking to yourself. I mean, we do it all the time, don't we? We talk to ourselves. And it doesn't really matter what you come up with. If you're talking about your service or your product, you tend to know what it is that, you know what you're doing, you know your job, you know your work. So if you, for example, somebody said to you, if you went up on that stage and had to talk for 5 or 10 minutes about absolutely anything, and you talked about your service or your product, you could do it because you know what it is that you are doing. So that's exactly what a social media live is about. You just get yourself on here and actually talk about your product. If you want to talk about your family, it's brilliant because it is, or a meal that you've done, or a beautiful place that you are. It's a great way to introduce yourself into carrying out a live. Or you could, what could it be? Say you were a chef, or I'm in the middle of making wine. Now that's a disclaimer. I've always made my own wine, and I haven't done it for a wee while, so I kind of felt that it was time to make some. And I've hesitated about making a Facebook Live on the different procedures, but I think I'll do that. But I will have to put a massive disclaimer on it. But I could do that just to show. I do kefir or kombucha. I could do a Facebook Live on that to showcase how others, for making something like that. And you could do that with your service, with your product. And you don't need to show your face. So I've been on almost 20 minutes. I've probably not said half of what I wanted to say, but if you watch this and you're there and it's wonderful, thank you so much everybody for coming along and listening to me. If you want to know anything more about being confident in front of the camera, hi Farah, how fantastic, thank you, coming along. Then just contact me. But I must say, with as far as popped on here, One, Farah is holding networking events on a Monday, and I would totally recommend going along to those. They were just started last Monday, and I've already met, oh gosh, I don't know how many, because I went morning and the afternoon. I would honestly say about 7 other ladies, um, and they've joined the group. And because they're in the group as well, there is a lot of interaction there, and that's networking. And all I did was you just go in to the networking event and just talk to people. That's all it is. So I'm going to love you and leave you with my link. It's to my business page because I don't agree inviting people to groups unless they know what the group is going to be about. I think twice about joining groups until I know what they are about because there's just so many on Facebook. But do pop into and onto my business page. It's not all business, I can assure you of that. There's a lot of daft interaction. I think my latest post today was, what do kids do? What was it? What do kids do better than adults? And there's a lot of mums actually go into the business page. So I'm looking forward to seeing what their comments are. My comment was that kids are really good at back chatting, which is, I can see it's fabulous because my children are all grown up. But it's a brilliant way because children are learning their own characters, their own confidence. And that's what we need to do. We all need to get back into being children again. So if you would like to know more, then pop it into the comments box. Or come over onto the business page and leave a little message or message me any which way. I would love to hear from you and I'd love to answer your questions. All right, I shall love you and leave you. And goodbye to everybody in the Glasgow Girls group. And I'll catch you again on Instagram next week. Bye for now. Bye bye.